Hello, and thank you for watching and listening to another episode of Unmedicated and Educated with Keita Rose. I'm Keita Rose, and here we deep dive, dissect, and sometimes diagnose because it seems like everyone, including myself, I am never excluded, has lost their damn minds. If you are new here, thank you so much for giving me a try. And if you're no G, then you already know what the
is going on?
Nah, like, share, subscribe, talk shit in my comments, tell me how you really feel. And even if you're listening, tell me how you feel in the comments. I'm gonna tell you guys how I feel about detaching and decentering. And I know a lot of you are like,
Keita, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm gonna tell you what I'm talking about. So everyone has been talking about attachment styles. This is not a new term, right? These aren't new terms. People have written books about them and done studies about attachment styles. You have anxious, you have secure, you have submissive avoidant, you have fearful avoidant. So there's a lot of different attachment styles. And so when people hear traits that they can align with, they're usually like, oh, I know, I'm anxious.
Oh, no, I'm fearful avoidant, period. I don't need love.
And it's like, yes, know your attachment style. That's important because if you know your attachment style, then you can work on getting to a secure attachment style, which should be the goal. The goal should be you want to be secure. Not that you're fearful avoidant. That's how you were. You're a Pisces. You're a Cancer. And that's how your mama's was. And that's how your daddy's daddy was. So that's just what it is. And not you're anxious, so you need people. And that's just how you love. And you just love intensely. And that's just what it is. The goal should be to get to a secure style. And I realize that a lot of people aren't secure within themselves, within their relationships, within their jobs, within their, their parenting. There's places in our lives where we're not secure, where we don't feel like we're doing good, doing well, doing our best, where we feel like we could do better, or maybe we just don't even care to because it's too hard. I know a lot of people giving up on relationships. I know it seems like it is, but it isn't that hard. And I'm not just talking about intimate relationships. I know everyone just wants to talk about that. Everyone just wants to talk about being with somebody or being married or forgiving somebody that's cheated 19 times so that they can stay together because people want to be together. But a lot of the times you need to detach. You have to. It's going to kill you if you don't. You have to detach from that job. You have to let go of that man or woman. You have to back up from that friend. You have to go no contact with a parent because sometimes our parents are toxic. What the do you do when your family, the people you see every day or maybe every other day or during every big event like Easter or Christmas, what do you do when you have to be around these people, but they're toxic and being around them fucks up your mental health, yeah, but your nervous system got you feeling all crazy. What do you do then when it's somebody that you can't get rid of, like maybe your teenage child? What do you do? And it's like, you know what? A lot of people talk about anxious attach when it comes to detaching, when it comes to not feeling so much and not feeling overwhelmed or an intense amount of love or passion. We know the anxious are the culprit, but I really want to break down like all the attachment styles just in a nutshell. I'm not a therapist.
Go see that lady. Go to the therapist. Therapy is so fun, I swear it.
Okay, go to see someone. Right? Not just a neighborhood friend or an aunt that you knew or somebody that doesn't quite have their life together, but they talk real fast and they talk real good. Don't go to that person. Go see the lady. Go to fucking therapy. Therapy is cool, I promise. So I just want to break it down. And I really want to talk about detaching first and then decentering because I feel like a lot of us suffer. We're suffering every day. And even though we can function, I didn't say that you can't go to work or that, you're in the car having a panic attack, throwing up, and you can barely think. I didn't say that, right? I'm just saying that it's like a long, drawn out suffering. Every day you're just content. You're not actually enjoying your life. You're not actually happy. You don't feel free. We talked about this in episode 1. You can't quite figure it out. So you think it might be that man. You think it might be that job. You think it might be your kids are just this and that and they don't listen. You don't quite know what it is, but you have to identify what in your life, and that's why journaling is so important. I feel like everybody thinks they have it all together. Everybody thinks, their brain's big enough and their mind has the capacity to hold feelings and everything, what to do, planning trips and going here and PTA meetings and all these things. But sometimes your mind breaks. And the mind is just as important as the body, and people don't understand that. A lot of people are like, well, If you're physically hurt or you need physical therapy, this is where you go, and you have to go here, and you have to let it heal this way, and you got to take this amount of medicine, and you have to ice it, and don't put any pressure on that. Don't strain it more. But when it comes to your mind, there's no advice, right? For those that do not want to go to therapy, the advice is you'll be all right. Give it to God. It's okay. Think better. Be better. Choose better. I cannot take it anymore, guys. I cannot take the generic ass, cookie cutter ass advice given a lot of the times from people that haven't practiced it, because it doesn't work when you practice it that way, because you're not really getting to the root of anything. You are just content with life. I do a poll every day. How are you feeling? How's your mental health? And a concerning number, I want to see 1% or 2%, yet I see 59% or 60% or sometimes 30% that says, I'm just living. I'm just living. There's nothing really to smile about. There's nothing really to feel good about. Well, that's not true. And you have to identify that. So once you've identified it, you have to write down. Again, I'm all about writing because we think the mind can handle all that. But when your mind is hurting, when your nervous system, because everything works together, stress can kill you and you don't know what to do and you're going crazy. You need to go to a doctor for it, right? Therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist, if you need the medicines.
But they'll never get me. They'll never make me take the medicine. That's why this is unmedicated.
But some of us, me, sometimes, needs the medicine to get back regulated. It's all about being in a regulated state of mind. You know, whether you want to say your spirit is sound, whether you want to say you're regulated, your nervous system is regulated and you feel peace, or if you want to say you're secure. You're secure with yourself, you're secure with who you are, you're secure with your relationship, your job, your parenting, your kids are doing well, you're secure. We all want to get back to a place of normalcy where life made a little bit of sense. Now, if you try to make sense out of everything in life, you're going to go crazy, so don't do that. We wouldn't recommend you did that. But yeah, having a sense of everything is going to be okay. So let's go over attachment styles. We have secure and, Google, because it's Googleable, right? Don't ever say you don't have the resources. This is Googleable. And Google says that a secure person can trust fairly easily, is attuned to emotions, can communicate their upsets directly, leads with cooperative and flexible behaviors in relationships. And then it defines anxious attached people as people that have a sensitive nervous system, struggles communicating, tends to act out when triggered, i.e. makes partner jealous, plays little games. Avoidant dismissives, downplays the importance of relationships, is usually extremely self-reliant, can become more vulnerable when there is a big crisis. Or fearful avoidant, more dependent in relationships than avoidant dismissives, but still downplays the importance of a relationship once things feel too intense, strongly fears rejection, has low self-esteem, has high anxiety in relationships. So they have a little bit of mixture of dismissive and anxious, otherwise known as disorganized. It's all over the place. And a lot of people are fine with their attachment styles, right? And a lot of people feel like only the anxious are the culprits. Anxious are the people that need to detach. And dismissive avoidance and fearful avoidance will say, only the anxious need to detach, not me. I already detached. I detached before you knew it. I detached right after I got on my knee and proposed to you. That's how detached I was. So I don't need to hear this, but I feel like everybody can benefit. So how about we just say it anyway? How about we just talk about it anyway? It wouldn't be Keita said it if Keita didn't say it, right? But let's start on anxious. You might feel, or even fearful avoidant, because it's a mixture. You might feel like you're like losing something is unbearable. You cannot focus on anything else but the loss of, or you're trying to prevent the loss of a special someone, a job, a friendship, any type of relationship, any type of connection you could have with something. Honestly, sometimes, it might be as small as your attachment to a stuffed animal. And it has to stay in the car. And if it's not in the car, you can't drive the car because you can't think about anything else but this stuffed animal. You need Trixie. Trixie got you through a lot of shit. And I understand that. I totally get it. But you're not going to die if you lose that person. You're not going to die if you lose Trixie. You're not going to die if you lose that job. And maybe that's too severe. I have bipolar, right? So I'm always thinking of the highest catastrophized. Maybe that's too severe, but you're not going to have a panic attack, or at least you shouldn't. Your nervous system shouldn't be out of whack when you think about losing something. And that's the art of detachment. It's writing down, for me, writing down. I don't know if you need to, right? We got asked in school, what type of learner are you? Do you need to see it? Do you need to write it? Do you need to do it? Or is it a combo of all three? And for me, it's like a combo of all three, but mostly I need to see it and I need to be able to write it down. I have to write it down. I have to get my thoughts in order because they're all over the place. And this doesn't mean that I'm sick. Something's wrong with me. I can't learn. I don't have a learning disability. When people talk about mental health, and things like depression, things like anxiety, things like bipolar, things like schizophrenia, things like autism, and different, just any type of anything that goes on with mental. People say, "Aw, so you're slow." And this is where the bipolar in me wants to cop back and smack the shit out of people. No, I'm not stupid. I don't have a learning disability. Not to say that everybody with a learning disability is stupid. Please don't mix my words up. I'm not slow. I don't have a problem learning and comprehending things. Thank you. I'm okay. I've made it this far in this hellhole. But whenever you talk like that, people don't necessarily understand these terms. A couple months ago, I crashed out and I was saying things like triangulation and narcissism and using a lot of psychology terms, and people were like, what? Trauma dump? You're making shit up. And it's like, just because you don't understand these things don't mean they don't exist. But let's talk about it. Let's find a way that maybe all of us can understand, right? Even if we're not neurodivergent, even if we're not dealing with mental illnesses, it doesn't matter. What if we all could come to a common ground and really get this? I believe that a lot of our suffering comes from not identifying what we're so attached to and what we're so afraid of, because really it's rooted in fear. A lot of things are rooted in fear. And even if you identify that, even if you know it, oh yeah, I'm scared to be alone. There, I'm fixed. No. Because now we have to work on these things. Now we have to create coping methods that work for you. Everyone is different. That's why cookie cutter shit doesn't make sense to everybody, because it doesn't work for everybody. So what do you do for the people that heal your heartbreak in 3 steps bullshit doesn't work for? What do? Well, I like to write things down. If I'm afraid of losing a loved one, or if I'm afraid of losing a boyfriend or a relationship, I'll write down, what is this need for validation that I have? Why do I need them to validate me, right? Why do I feel my nervous system acting up and I feel like I'm gonna throw up at the sign of at reading a breakup text? Why does that make you so sick inside? And of course people are gonna be like, well, duh, bitch, I love him. I love her. Are you stupid?
Again, you're not gonna beat these slow allegations. How is you cool?
Yeah. But that's a really intense way to feel, because somebody is expressing themselves to you and somebody is saying, I wanna leave. Or you might be fired. That's really intense. So why do we feel so intensely about it? Well, I know personally that I pour my all into things. I am the type of person that when I focus on something, I have to finish it, and it has to be to the best of my ability. Any imperfections, I freak out, I pass out. I just wanna die. Oh, I just wanna die. I just wanna die. And I know it's like, damn, that's really a lot, but yeah, I'm aware of myself. I know what I do, and that's important. That accountability is not a fearful, we are not afraid of accountability here. Accountability is not scary on this platform. It won't be. So yeah, that's really intense. And a lot of anxious people, they feel really intense feelings. And so do a lot of fearful avoidance. They feel it at first. At first, they feel very, very intense. Let's talk about fearful avoidant. It says that you're more dependent in relationships and avoidance, but you strongly fear rejection. Again, even I have to prevent you from rejecting me. This is why a lot of people show up as representatives in dating. Before you tell me no, I'm gonna study you and figure out what I think you might like. And then I'm gonna become this person so that I can get you. And then once you're in love, right? Once you're attached and you find it hard, because love and attachment is not the same, and we'll break that down, but everybody thinks it's the same thing. So once you're in love, once you're hooked, once you're attached, once you're sprung, whatever the fuck you want to call it, they can't pretend for that long. So it starts to unravel. So you might have been with somebody that kept on that mask for 2 years, 3 years. I cannot stand when I see comments like, how didn't you know? Do you know people be bona fide lying out here, placing a mask on? This is with friendships too. Some people have ulterior motives. And when you meet that type of person, how you know that they're that type of person is they'll usually say shit like, Everybody preys on people. No, they don't. Not everybody is looking to only take and not give back. Some people believe in community. Some people believe in family. Some people believe in the sanctity of marriage. Some people believe in that shit for real. So no, they aren't just there to steal from you and take until you're drained and then leave you and discard you. Some people aren't out here to do that. But if you ever talk to one of those type of people, they'll swear to God everyone's like that. Because that's how they see the world. That's their perspective. So you're more dependent. Anxious and fearful avoidance are more dependent. They're attached. But you know, and an avoidant will sit up here, and a dismissive avoidant will sit up here and say, well, see, that's them. That's that them problem. I don't need to attach to anybody because I'm already detached. And that's a whole new situation. That's a whole nother level. You're in a cycle that's killing you and hurting you and everyone around you because you attach so quick in the beginning, right? Love bomb, and then you detach so abruptly, and you want love, and you don't understand why you crave attention and you crave validation and you crave love. But once you get it, it just seems to be too much, and you can't rely on people, and you have to run away. Sometimes without so much as a peep. You just do it, you just dip, and that's fucked up. But everybody has their own problem. So how do we get to secure? Like I said, I like to write down what I'm afraid of. Some people call that shadow work. I like to write down what are you so afraid of? A lot of the times when it comes to a job, I know I've always worked 3 jobs my whole life. And when I was younger, I worked 2. When I could start working at 14, I worked 2. Because that's how much I wanted to like get out there and make money. I can't stand when I feel confined. I gotta move around, so I gotta have motion. That's just me. But you know, because of that, I always taken a lot of pride in my work. I've always put a lot of myself into it, so much so that I neglect other things, right? I might not do a self-care. I might not work out for months. I might not eat right because I might be so focused on a project that that's all that matters. So physical, spiritual, emotionally, I'm drowning, but financially, and maybe intellectually, because you have to read books and you have to, you know, build your skill set. Maybe in those pillars, I'm succeeding. And what you want to do is be a well-rounded person, a more secure person, right? And we know that. And if you knew better, what you gonna what?
You're gonna do better, duh.
So I break down all the different types of attachment styles, really so that you could identify it, right? If you feel or you've heard of attachment styles, or if you've read a book, I read this book called Attached. It's so good because it breaks it down. Now it is a boring read. Oh my God. It took a minute. I was like, oh God, I can't keep doing this self-help shit. It's too long. These are boring until you find like better and more, you know, books that are aligned to the way you like to read in your reading style. But that Attached book, I literally had to give it away because I was like, I'm not gonna read it again. Here you go. Here you have it. But it broke down a lot. So I would recommend getting it. I would recommend reading it. I would recommend figuring out your attachment style, because even if you're avoidant and you love the person and you see yourself with the person, or you love this job, but when things feel overwhelming and intense, you abandon all responsibilities. That isn't good. These things are going to hurt us. These traits are gonna hurt us. And I feel like the suffering is we cannot detach. We do not feel like we are enough within ourselves in order to break away from anything that we know isn't serving us. We know this isn't serving us. And if it isn't serving you positively, then even in low doses, it's serving you negatively. It's serving you toxicity. So even if the black market doc said you could have a little bit of poison, a small amount of cyanide every day, you still probably shouldn't, because the more it builds up in your system, it's killing you. And that's what happens. We pour our all into certain things that we don't want to lose. Relationships, jobs, again, same things. Things that we don't want to lose. And we end up either smothering it until it's dead, and then we get forced to move on to something else, or discarding it in the beginning and finding something else. But we don't feel like we're enough. And a lot of it is rooted in fear. I'm afraid to be alone. People are afraid to be alone. I won't talk about the jobs too much, because again, that's a whole nother subject, because it's like,
Bitch, I'm scared to be broke. Do you know who's president? Do you see this economy, honey?
and yeah, I feel you, right? But a lot of us, when it comes to relationships with people, we don't want to be alone. And we're not built to be alone. We're built to have companionship. That's the truth. But we don't want to be alone. And I need you to understand that just because you're alone doesn't necessarily mean you're lonely. If you feel lonely all the time, being single, or being without that one friend you know you shouldn't be around, or being without that one family member that you lean on a lot emotionally. Only that one cousin that knows all your business and no one else knows anything. It's like you feel empty. That's a better word. Because I could leave a party and have a great time with my friends and feel full of love and support and happiness and feel just good on my way home, get in my car by myself, close the door, and I am alone. Loneliness is a state, right? I am alone, but I'm not lonely. I feel full. I feel good. You feel empty. So a lot of the times we're empty. We have poured all we can into something. We're empty, so we're searching for something to fill that void, to fill, what is it? I have everything. Sometimes people that have everything, they have the cars and the money and the success and the image and everything. They just can't understand why they aren't happy. And it's like you're neglecting another pillar in your life. I call them pillars, I don't know, like spiritual, emotional, financial, intellectual, and what I say, physical, I think. It's like a lot of the times when you're doing well at work, you're not doing well in other places because you're focused on that real quick. So again, you might not eat well. You might be you're only fast fooding it and staying up late, not really caring about your sleep. So then you're too tired to work out and you don't care about that protein drink because you need to, your body needs some type of dopamine. So you got to have some comfort food, right? Because that's what dopamine is. It's comfort, it's pleasure. So that's what you want. And it's like, no, you're lacking something. And instead of sitting down and grounding ourselves, I never wanted to sound like one of those hippie dippy people, but no, the older I get, the more I'm turning into a hippie. And honestly, I feel like when I'm 60 years old, I'm gonna get a bus. I'm gonna rent out one of them mini buses and I'm gonna live inside of it. And I'm gonna go the fuck on. And no one's gonna know. I'm gonna have a beard and no one's gonna be able to recognize me. I'm straight on it. Because the older you get, the more you just want peace. Not even older. I won't say that because there's a lot of older people that don't want peace, that are fine in their own chaotic cycle. And if you break that loop, they'll freak out. So just keep them in that loop and keep them the fuck away from you. But we're feeling empty. There's a void. Where am I? What am I doing? How do I find happiness? And we have to be able to detach and figure out what are we so afraid of? What do we need from this other person that we're not able to give to ourselves? And a lot of people are like, girl, people will say, girl, that dick, but it's not that. You were attached before you got it half the time. It's not that. It might be if you find that you're the type of person that finds validation through sex. A lot of people do, right? If people want to have sex with me, that means I'm important. If I can have sex with this many people, that means I'm somebody. That's all they can control in their lives is their genitalia, so they throw it out and it's like one of those sticky toys. As a kid, like the hand sticky toys that you throw it on something like the refrigerator and it sticks and then you have to like pull it back. That's what they do with their like popping that pussy everywhere, popping that peen just everywhere for the streets, lots of bumps, no thank you, yuck. But that is what it is. People are addicted to things, right? So we try to fill these voids with vices. Sometimes when we can't have the person and you don't stalk them like a weirdo, you can't have the person that you want or the job that you want or the thing that you want, you go and you lean on your crutches. A lot of us don't have community. We don't have people to lean on, right? Thank God I'm a black woman. Black women will cover and love the hell out of you. I'm sorry. I just got to brag about black. But if you don't have community, 9 times out of 10, you're leaning on a vice. And that vice is alcohol, smoke a little Zaza. Maybe you smoke a little too much. Maybe you're taking too much ketamine. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. You're doing too much. Or maybe you're working out 5 times a day and you need steroids. Maybe you obsessively clean and all you do is clean. And then when there's a fork in the sink, you freak out because it's not perfect. And this is the only thing I can control. And it's like, chill the fuck out, Chelsea. Everything's okay. The house is spotless. You know, it's funny to me because people will act like their addiction is better than everyone else's, but you're still obsessing about something. You're still out of control. You're still not happy. It's still affecting your day-to-day. If you gotta do, like I said, shopping, sex. Sex addiction is wild. Just like, random Tuesday, it's 12. Gotta pound some ass. Goodness, Jacob. So you're out of control. I feel like a lot of us feel like we don't have control. And I think the first step to freedom, to freeing your mind from being pain and plagued, because life's already hard. It's already tough. A lot of us don't know why we're here, right? You haven't stepped into your purpose, maybe. So it's already tough. Plus you have to deal with other motherfuckers that haven't healed their wounds, that are searching to fill a void and find you. It's scary out here. And a lot of people are out of control, but if you knew that you could manifest, if you don't like that word, I know people are like, You can pray, but faith without work is dead, right? You have to be able to believe it and then take the necessary steps to achieve it. And baby, we will get into that. We will get into that. The reason I want to talk about decentering is because once you detach, right? You need to decenter whatever that was in your life that was holding you back, holding you down. That doesn't mean, and detach, decenter, these words aren't scary. It doesn't mean break apart from people, break up, file for divorce right now, never talk to your friend of 13 years. It means understanding that people are who they're going to be. Believe them when they show you who they are. If you choose to accept them in your life, then you need to know how much of a dose to take of them, right? I have a cousin who has a real big issue with his father. He loves his father, right? But his dad shows a lot of toxic traits. There's a lot of toxic things. So what do you do when you love somebody, but when you're with them, when you spend time with them, it hurts you? Well, you need to limit your time. You got to take that motherfucker in moderation. I'm sorry. Doctor's orders. Hello. Doctor's orders. You got to take that motherfucker in moderation. You're doing too much, but I don't want to cut you out my life. People act like it's so easy to let go, to detach. I can't stand those like insensitive ass comments that are just like, well, just let go. You can tell who's a dismissive avoidant. I let go of my husband of 13 years. I didn't feel a thing. Oh yeah, you didn't feel anything? Nothing? Okay. It's not that easy, but you do need to detach, figure out what it is about you, about whatever's holding you back, right? That makes you so afraid to let go, that has your body and your nervous system feel like you're going to lose everything if you lose that job, that person, that pet, that toy, that thing that your mom gave you 15 years ago. What about it is so special to you? What about it feels like you can't let it go? Because you can't control anything. So once we detach, we need to decenter as well. Because when you decenter something, think of it as like a big ass life is a big ass table, and you got this big thing, this ugly centerpiece right in the middle, smack dab in the middle. And you can't see shit, and you're not seeing things well, and you can't function well because it's in your way. You need to take it off the table and center something else onto the table. Something else needs to have your focus now. Like whatever fear you need to overcome. Like why you need validation from. It's the hardest thing ever to tell yourself, just, random thought. It's the hardest thing ever to be like, you shouldn't seek validation from your parents. But these are the first people that we needed validation from. Am I doing good? Is this right? Are you proud of me? That's what that's our parents are the first people we did that with. So now you grow up and you realize that your parents, might not know everything. Or maybe their way of doing things is outdated. The same thing keeps happening and history keeps repeating itself, but it is new times. So the way people that were born in 1960 think, we don't think that way. And they can talk shit about this generation not knowing shit all they want or being too sensitive all they want. You gosh darn right, millennials are starting to say, hey, I'm gonna take care and I'm gonna take control of my mental health so that I don't spill my trauma on everyone else. So you need to decenter, right? Whether it's your parents' approval, the love from your boyfriend, the love from your girlfriend, that hope for marriage, because you're clinging on to him, you attached, you're anxious, you want to know, does he love you? You want to know, will he be there? You want to know if it's real? Please commit. Even if he gave you 100 rings and told you he loved you 100 times and told you you were worthy every day of the week, it still wouldn't be enough because something in you doesn't believe him. You don't believe it enough. You have to write down all the positive things about yourself. Stop talking to yourself negatively. And this is somebody who loves self-deprecating jokes. I be telling jokes and people be like, oh my God, do you want to die? No. My humor's dark. But I don't mean any of that shit. Baby, I am the shit. I am worthy. I am special. I am kind. I is important. No. No. I don't believe any of that shit. Those jokes. Because that's what it is for me. But a lot of people really feel it. You're not going to be anything without him. You'll never find love like this without me. You'll never find another job. You're not worthy. You're not good enough. Your performance report was low. You're on the verge of being fired. It's just a lot of things that come at us. I can list a million examples, but it all comes down to the same thing. This thing, whatever it is hindering you. It's stopping you from going forward, from enjoying your life. Stop looking at social media and comparing people's life. These mother effers be lying, y'all. They're not even happy. America has mastered the image. Come here, we're free, we're happy, we're rich, we're thriving. Don't you want money? Don't you want financial freedom? Don't you want a place to lay your head? Come here, come to America. We've mastered an image. Everything's perfect here. We're strong, we're united. Well, Texas is in its own world and didn't get the memo, so decentering. I am going to place myself in the middle of that table. I am my main focus. What about me don't I like about myself? Can I fix it now? No. Okay, how long is it gonna take me to fix it? Well, if it's your weight, it might take you 6 months. If it's your 6 weeks. If you wanna read more, okay, challenge yourself. I'm gonna read more. I'm gonna expand my mind, expand my vocabulary. If it's traveling, I'm finally gonna do it. All these years, I waited for this person, waited for that person. Nobody's gotten their passports. I'm going. That's the wave I'm on. I've waited for years for people to travel with me. Now, I'm about to book a solo trip after I get done. I'm not lying, because after every minor inconvenience, I'm ready to leave the country. Goodbye. Bye-bye. I gotta be a dual citizen. Enough. So you center yourself. You are your main focus. Every time you're sad about something, you're sad about a job, you're sad about a boyfriend, you're sad about a friend, you're sad about a girlfriend, a wife, you're sad that your parents don't understand, or that your siblings are still doing that shit they did when we were 13. You gotta, right in that moment, retrain your brain. Whoa, stop. Stop in that moment. Why the fuck am I thinking about this? Okay, it came up, so maybe there's a fear. Okay, what is the fear? Is it maybe anxiety? Because I have to have a hard conversation, because I have to stop being a people pleaser. There's a lot of things. And baby, we will get into it. But it's time to decenter. It's time to center oneself. I am the most important in my life. Yes, even if I'm a mom. Yes, even if I'm a daughter. It doesn't mean I don't give a shit. It doesn't mean that I abandon my responsibilities. It means that my main priority right now is me. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't have a village or a community. So they have no one. They only have them. Well, now it's time, if you only have you, and I'm speaking to you, then now it's time to do time management, because there's only one of me, and all this can't get done, and I'm not gonna kill myself. What I am gonna do is try my best every day and try to work a little harder and a little smarter. Less harder, more smarter. That's what I'm gonna do. It's time to center your focus on what about you is plaguing you, not everybody else. Not pointing this and this. What is fucking you up? Because no matter if everybody changed or you got rid of everybody, avoidance, like the run away from accountability and people, you can run all day. The pain still lies within you, baby. That's the shadow. I gotta wrap this up, you guys, but let me know in the comments below how you felt about this episode, what you take away from this episode, what you'd like to hear us talk about. We need to do this journey together, okay? Stay unmedicated, only if you're regulated, please. By all means, go see that lady. Go talk to that psychiatrist. Therapy isn't embarrassing. Having to take meds isn't uncool. You know what's uncool? You know what's embarrassing? Walking around here, all these undiagnosed motherfuckers thinking they're normal. Doing weird shit to people. That's embarrassing. Not getting help for yourself. Not centering yourself. That's not embarrassing. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another episode of Unmedicated and Educated with Keita Rose.